Welcome back to season 2 of the Lulu Logic podcast. And today's guest is from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Went to the University of Massachusetts. I hope I say that right because I always mess it up. And he was a DB. He's the all-time leading interceptions leader or all-time interceptions leader at UMass. He was he's first team All-American Atlantic 10 Player of the Year or Defense Player of the Year, and he finished his college career with 20 interceptions. You see, it's been a minute since I've been doing these introductions, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just slashing this up. But he went undrafted to the Baltimore Ravens, then to the Calgary Stampeders, where he was the team's most outstanding Defensive Player of the Year 2 times before winning the Grey Cup in his second season. Then he went to Hamilton Ticats in his 4th season of the CFL. Welcome to the show, Shannon James. Shay J, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me on, man.
Man, it's a blessing having you on. You know, I was going through your Wikipedia and just seeing some of the stats, man, and I was like, dude, I would have never known.
Because you know, I mean,
I knew
you get to the pros, all that go out the window.
I knew you was a baller, though, you know, even early on, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but your whole Wikipedia, man, is just straight stats.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing about you on there, it's just straight stats. This All-American, this newspaper, sports, you know, the sports talk radio man of the year. You know, you got everything.
Yeah. I was
like 10 minutes of compliments.
Yeah, I was pretty decorated back then, you know. So
what do you think what's your favorite accolade that you've ever received?
I would have to say when I was the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year.
Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes, because I was a junior, and that year there were a couple guys in the conference who were drafted and played several years in the NFL. So when I won that award, it was kind of like, wow, you know, that was a major accomplishment because I knew I had a chance, but to actually win it and beat out some guys that I knew were good ball players, that was a great accomplishment for me.
That's good, man. He's All-American too. First team All-American. That's a great honor, man, because when you really think about it and look at how many Division I players there are, and to be a first team All-American, especially coming out of a UMass, right? Mm-hmm. Like to get that recognition, you got to do almost twice as much as somebody else at a power school.
Right. You know that, you know, you come from a level. It's you don't get that respect, and you definitely got to do twice as much. And then when you play the 1A teams, you got to really ball. That's how you really get put an All-American as a 1AA kid. When you play the 1As, you got to go off. You got to be the best player on the field. Otherwise, they look at you like, or whatever, he played 1AA. So yeah, that's what really got me on the map.
You know, Adrian Zulo?
That's my guy. Yeah, he was a junior when I came in.
You still talk to him?
No, I haven't talked to Zulo in years, man. But
so you know, my rookie year, Zulo was a rookie receiver in Calgary too. Mm-hmm. So I know Adrian from way back when, man. He's a crazy dude.
Yeah,
crazy dude.
Story about him. When I had got up there,
yeah,
17. You know, you all state. Coming out of high school, you think you're the man and all that good stuff. So I played corner like my first week of college. So I lined up on this little white boy. He like 5'7", 140. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm finna throw him to the water coolers. And man, look here, bro. He ran a straight go. He hit me off the line, boom. And you know when you beat, you got when you got makeup speed, that panic speed, you faster.
Yeah.
And when I noticed when he was running the go route, I wasn't gaining though. He was actually separating. So he caught the pass, touchdown. I get back on the side. Like the vets was like, the veterans was like, hey man, why you press him? I said, what you mean? So you don't know who that is? I said, nah, he was the national champ in 100 meters. I said, oh, shit. Oh, man. Why y'all ain't tell me that before my rep? Y'all gonna tell me after the rep? Man, he made me look so bad,
run.
bro.
That
Man,
burners.
if you see somebody that little, and not to be offensive, but a white kid that little, you don't think he's a national champ in the 100 meters in high school. That don't cross your mind. And man, when I tell you he took off, that's the last time I underestimated somebody else. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, when we was rookies together, man, I remember we used to walk to the train and stuff. He used to hang with me and Salacio, and yeah, he's funny, man. Funny dude. Yeah. I've always tried to look him up, see if he was on like Facebook, and so I know he's doing something right now. He got to be in something. He come over and get sandwiches from our crib and stuff. I'm like, man, Zulu, you don't eat at your house, man. Hey, man. No, I like little Zulu.
Florida boy.
Hey, do you keep up with the CFL at all?
Cool dude. I did, when I first retired, I did a lot. But since probably like in the last years, when the games are on before the NFL, I'll watch them, and then I keep in contact, with some of our former teammates, see how it's going. But in the last 3 years since I've been doing my business thing, I really haven't had time to really sit down and follow the CFL like that.
Well, they just announced today they're looking at a partnership with the XFL. What would you initially think about that if the CFL and the XFL create a partnership?
For me personally, I would say no, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like the CFL, besides the NFL, is the greatest football league in the world. 100%. So if they were doing a partnership with the NFL and working something out, that'd be a little different. But to join the XFL is like, I don't know about that, because the CFL is a great game, and it's already popular up there, and it's becoming more popular here. And the reason why I know it's becoming more popular here, because a lot of people ask me, well, how does my such and such get into the CFL? How do they get a workout, look out? As to where I was coming up out of college, I never even knew about the CFL.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's growing here as well.
I'm 100% with you on that, man. It's just like, I just think they're just driving it into the ground. I mean, I know that the pandemic has been rough for a lot of people, even your business. But when you look at joining leagues, and I mean, when you have a total different rule set, you have something that's been around over 20 years longer than the NFL, right? And I just think they never chose to figure out a way to grow together. And that's where they have to get to, the players and the owners. But I don't know what's going to happen, man. But I sit here and look at it and just think, like, I don't know what kind of partnership they could create, because you can't intertwine the leagues unless you turn the XFL and the CFL rules, right? Where's the partnerships go? Like, where does that go? Like, are you going to split revenue, or are you going to split TV time, or CFL going to create these TV avenues off the XFL? And those are just the questions, because like you said, it's the second best league, because any other league you go to, you're not playing against guys like you're playing in the CFL or NFL.
Correct.
And I just seen an interview the other day with Derek Moncrief, who plays for the Oakland or Vegas Raiders now. And he talks about how the CFL is faster than the NFL, which everybody's a size down. So it makes that more interesting to know that, the game probably is going to be a little bit faster. Like you were DB and you come to CFL and play Sam, which is a hybrid linebacker.
Right. It's I think, I tell people all the time, even like you said, it's a size down, because most of the DBs in the CFL are corners or really small safeties that are fast. As in the NFL, your corners, a lot of corners come in, and some safeties come in, but a lot of safeties are hybrid linebackers that you just put in the box. They got a little better coverage skills, or they're a little more athletic. You know what I'm saying? So all your receivers in the CFL, most of them are shifty, fast guys. You know what I'm saying? So, in that regard, I think it is, it's a more athletic game as far as the not the quality athlete, but there's more athletes, shifty athletes on the field in the CFL. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. How's Sobala? Is it Sobala? I never know. Sobaya. Y'all probably got some silent vowels and letters in there.
So it's Sobala. So baila is to dance in Spanish. Bailar is to dance in Spanish. So baila's dance in Spanish.
Bailamos.
The soul come from.
Let the rhythm take control.
You already know.
Bailamos. Yeah, I know. I never put two and two together.
So yeah, so the soul part is the 3 Black owners. The baila part is, my wife is Puerto Rican, my kids are half Puerto Rican, and my one of my partners, his daughters have Black with Puerto Rican and Dominican. So that's where the baila came in. That was for the family aspect of it. But it's been we opened in April 2019, and that first year we didn't even get a full year in before the pandemic hit in March of 2020. But it was very successful. It was the hot spot around here, around Connecticut. It blew up extremely fast. And I'm talking about fast, like from the first night on.
So tell people about the vibe. What would the vibe be? So if I'm coming there for the first time, what vibe am I looking for when I come up in there?
So it's a grown people vibe. So if you 21, 22, it really might not be for you. It could be. We got the food, the good music, everybody's dressed nice. And that's the kicker, right? So we got a dress code every day. So there's no sneakers, no hats, no athletic wear. So you get a lot of corporate people in there, young professionals of all races, which is what we wanted to do from the jump. You really don't want to, we all been to hood spots and we all been upscale spots where you getting majority one crowd, either way you look at it. We want to do something where you get all crowds, all races, all ages. We'll have a 25-year-old birthday party and a 50-year-old birthday party at the same time frame, same night. Everybody gets the same vibe. So the music is, you're going to get R&B, you're going to get old school hip hop, you're going to get new school hip hop, you're going to get a little trap, you're going to get reggaeton, you're going to get, you're going to get everything. And everybody just have a good time. You don't got to worry about watching your back and having to deal with bullshit going on. It's all a good vibe in there. Everybody get along. So, everybody warm and welcoming. It's something different that came to Connecticut in general.
Yeah. What's your number one food item?
I would have to say the lobster mac and cheese, bro. That thing go like hotcakes. That lobster mac and cheese, brother. That thing go like hotcakes.
I could definitely come for some lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah.
That don't exist in Texas. That don't exist in Texas. That don't exist in Texas.
I don't eat a lot of seafood down there, right?
Yeah, you don't get much lobster in Texas like that.
Say it don't.
No.
Yeah, see, we on the coast, so
yeah.
But all the food is good, and that's been what held us up, because at one point we was known for the nightlife really well, the lounge field, the club field. But when the pandemic hit, when you can only do takeout and you can only do dining, a lot of people was like, "Damn, I didn't know the food was this good." So to be able to function as a full-on restaurant is amazing. That just lets you know we are hybrid. We can do everything. We could be a club, we could be a lounge, we could be a restaurant. We have succeeded in all areas. As with some people can only succeed in nightlife. They can only do club things. They don't have food, or the food ain't good. Or some people can't be a lounge or a club because they just don't have that type of vibe. We give everything. Whatever you come in there for, you're gonna get.
Man, I would have never guessed you to be a restaurant owner when we were teammates.
Me neither.
Like, is it not crazy? Like, Shay J's a restaurant owner. Where'd it come from?
Well, after football was over, you go through that little depression stage. You're like, damn, what I'm gonna do next? I can't believe it's over, especially when you out of the game before you think you should be out of the game. Like you played a career. I'm sure in your career, you like, I'm ready to hang it up. I've been doing it a long time. I wasn't ready to hang it up, so it was different for me. So me and one of my college boys, he came in when I was leaving, but I used to come back to UMass in the offseason. We was doing like mansion parties, me, him, and my brother. And the mansion parties
I've seen those.
Yes, bro. I'm talking like 400 people. So we was like, man, we could really make something out of this. So
can you explain that real quick? Because I seen you doing that on social media. I see pictures of you walking around and doing stuff. Can you explain what was going on?
So we just said, we know a lot of people, I'm not from Hartford, but I moved up here in like 2013. But one of my partners was already up here. So he knew a lot of people. And, for me just going out and meeting people, I started meeting a lot of people. So then we just said, let's try to have a mansion party. Well, let's change it up. Let's do like a dress code, all that. We put it out there, found a couple of promoters that was big time out here. And it blew up faster than we thought. We was thinking, 150 people. It turned out to be 400 people. And it opened our eyes like, man, we could do something with this.
How do you get the mansion? How'd you get the mansion? Did you know somebody that owned the mansion, or?
It was a mansion that does wedding venues.
Okay.
It's like a wedding venue, man. So we just called up. We was calling around. We called over there, and they gave us a good price. And actually, one of the promoters had done a party there before, like years ago. And he's like, try this place out. So we went over there, boom. We got the mansion at the price we wanted. We threw it, and it was a success. So then we said, okay, let's do another one. So then like a year later, we did another one. But this is like a real mansion, like somebody's house. And when I tell you, Nick, at 10:30, right, we opened the doors like 9. We sold like 200 pre-sale tickets. So we had to tell the promoter stop because we didn't know if we could fit everybody. And by 10:30, it was 80 something cars in the driveway. The driveway was a quarter mile long. And man, people just coming and coming and coming. It got so bad that people was blocking people's driveways. Mind you, the driveway we had was a quarter mile. People couldn't pull in no more. So they start side of the street, and now neighbors is like, my driveway blocked, and the cops came and they say, no, everything cool. Just people gotta move their cars. And somebody in the crowd, somebody said something stupid. The Henny was in them. And the cops said, yeah, all right, yeah. With that being said, y'all shut it down now. But we knew we was on. We like, so then I said, Fonz, I said, what you want to do next? He said, well, yo, my dad owned the building of the Empire Hookah Lounge. And I said,
okay.
I said, what? Why you didn't say nothing before? He was like, well, shit, it's too late now. What we doing? And I said, all right, let's do it. So then Jeremy Miles, so Jeremy's ex-wife and my wife is best friends. So I knew Jay since 2007. So Jay had retired from the NFL. He played 5 years, 6 years. So Jay from New Jersey, his ex-wife is from the same town my wife is from, in Massachusetts. So they just happened to move to Windsor. And I'm in Manchester and Fonz in Windsor. So Jay called me we was going out, whatever, kicking it. Jay called me one day. He said, yo, I want to get down with y'all. So I'm like, cool. And then we walked to the Empire Lounge. Jay said, yo, I got a vision. I'm looking at Jay. This place was shitty, Nick. I'm talking about, it was bad, man. And Jay I said, bro, I don't know what vision you talking about, but.
True visionary that can see a vision out of nothing.
Bro, I'm talking about it's bad. He was already in the real estate, so he already seen walls get knocked down and demolition happening and demo happening and redo. He's already seen all that. I'm new to this. Like, how we gonna do all this? And man, we got the tech. He set it up. So at the beginning, us three was doing all the labor, picking up the floors, knocking down some of the walls. We were just in there grinding. I'm talking about 3, 4 in the morning, not sleeping. So it finally started coming to fruition, man. And before you know it, we hiring staff, getting all the equipment, going to the city to get everything open, the permits, everything. Before you know it, bro, April 2019 was here, and here we are, man. It was just,
That's awesome.
it's crazy.
That's awesome. You know what? It's all about relationships you build. What I'm doing now, it's all about the relationships that I built through my career with all the people that I was around. And it's just a good feeling, man, when you can build good relationships, meet new people, and people get good vibes, and you can parlay that into something so much more.
It is, man. It's just, and to do it with two dudes, two of my bros that I've known for 13 years, 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, these wasn't just some fellas I met off the street, and I babysit Jay's daughter, he babysit my kids. They all, you know, it's not like I just met these guys. We've known each other since we was kids.
Yeah.
You know, fresh out of college, and they were like freshmen in college when I met them. You know, so it was just a blessing that we all happened to move in the same area, and the thing about us three, man, it's no ego, right? We all done been stars, we all done made a little money, we all done did what we had to do. So it's not like one person trying to prove something to the other person, or I'm the big dog, or you're not the, you know, it's just, listen, man, we know where we came from. We know how hard it was to start this thing.
Yeah.
So
everybody gonna eat, everybody gonna be good.
Right. And that's when you see a lot of partnerships break up, ego start getting involved, and people start feeling themselves. And we'll be the first to check one another. Bro, no, it's not going on, you know.
So we don't have to call
man.
John Taffer to come over there, huh? Well, let's go to the start of your career, or not just your career, but start of life. Growing up in Connecticut, what was it like growing up there? When did you get into sports, and just what was the feeling?
So it was, you know, my mom and dad had, you know, they divorced when I was like 3. So at the time, we was living in Bridgeport, and then they divorced. My mom was they both still living in Bridgeport, but they was in separate houses. And then Bridgeport is like, a lot of people, if you're not from Connecticut, you don't know. So there's Bridgeport it was in the top 25 most dangerous cities in America when I was coming up. And my mom, and I already had a bad attitude. I was already a rough kid, you know, she knew like it wasn't gonna be a good place to keep me if she wanted me to stay out of trouble. So my mom got a twin sister who got 3 sons. So by the time I got into sports, you know, age 5, 6, she kind of told and my mom was working 3 jobs, right? She's single mom. So, you know, she kind of, you know, moved me with my aunt, like this would be a better situation for him. But mind you, mom was always there. You know, it just, you can't leave a kid alone at home at 6, 7 years old. My aunt has, out of her 3 sons, one's 10 years older than me, one's 8 years older than me. So they was always the babysitters until me and my...
Yeah.
Yes. And her youngest son is 4 months older than me. So once the older 2 left the house, me and him was already old enough to take care of ourselves. So at that point, you know, I started I was always good in sports, you know, from the age of 5, but I was a 3-sport kid. I just played, you know, back then you could play 3 sports. Now these kids just play, you know.
Play one.
Yeah, play one. But back then I loved all 3. Then I started, you know, I went in New England championships in football. We beating everybody. Baseball, I've taken off. We going to regionals and winning regionals, going to, you know, little like Pony League World Series and stuff like that. And, you know, we didn't have everything, but life was good because it was the love that the family had. And my dad's side of the family was still around. You understand? They never abandoned me, right? So I got brothers, all my brothers on my dad's side and my mom's side. So I always saw my dad's side. I always saw my mom's side. But so life was good, man. It was the family love and the sports was hit, right? So, you know, people start saying this kid gonna be something, this kid gonna be something. So then I get to high school and you know, clearly everybody in the city knows who you are because of your prowess in, you know, youth sports.
Yeah.
Get that. Well, I start all 3 sports as a sophomore, but I'm excelling in baseball at a high level, at a high level. And then, you know, then I start excelling in football, basketball, you know, and everything start hitting. Now I'm getting recruited, everything going on. And then baseball, my junior year, I led the state in home runs and RBIs. So then, like, now the pros is coming around to watch me. They come into the games. So now I'm like, well, man, you know, my mom like, well, maybe you want to play baseball. I'm like, nah, mom, you know, mom, you always mom, baby boy. She wants you to get hurt playing football. So she also, maybe you want to play baseball.
And that baseball money be hidden.
Listen, that's all guaranteed. But, and then after my senior year, I had committed to UMass, right? Well, I committed to Maryland. Vanderland got fired. Frieden came in. They didn't want me. All whirlwind started happening. Then like Buffalo started coming in at the tail end. Then a lot of like 1AA schools started coming. Ended up committing to UMass, which was the best decision of my life. But then the Major League came around saying he's going to be a draft pick. Now, if he decides to not go to UMass, he'll go in the top 10 rounds. If he decides to go to UMass, he's going to fall. Obviously, we're not going to reach a draft pick on somebody who's committed to play football. And
what kind of baseball player were you though? Like, what position you play? You played outfield?
Second base, shortstop. I had great
second
hands.
Base, shortstop.
Great hands, quick to the ball. But I was. That wasn't what got me. It was my hitting ability. Like I was 5,600 average in high school. I had power, speed. I led the state in stolen bases, home runs, RBIs, triples. I mean, I was all over the place, man. I was all over the place. And then I played in the nutmeg games, and I hit a home run off a kid who the Reds came to see. He was throwing like 90. I took him deep, out of here. And then they was like, whoa, who's this kid? I ended up going like 4 for 4 off. That's when everything started going. So I told my high school coach, I said, no, I'm sold. I'm playing football. I'm not playing baseball.
You ever think about it? Like, why? Like,
oh, shit, Nick, every day.
Because I know some people that go get $1 million, $2 million, $3 million signing bonuses out of high school in baseball. Yes. But then they only make like $20,000 a year in the minors. So you have to really watch how you spend that money, right? And just listen to the whole Kyler Murray story, right? When he was coming out of Oklahoma, like going to play MLB or go to the NFL, and it said he's got to wait 5 years to make. He'll be making this money, but in 5 years he go to arbitration, then he can make the big money and all that. But it's almost like you don't really go pro in baseball, even though you go pro until you're 30.
Right.
Unless so that's a 12-year grind that they're gonna give you some money up front.
But I know, unless you were in the Mike Trout, Bryce Harper type of, caliber, that's a different story. But there's a kid I know from my high school that led the NCAA in home runs. Right? I think he tied my record in high school for home runs in the season. Great player. I think he's still in like AAA. He gotta be 30, 32, 33. He went out of high school. He's been in there 12 years. I don't know if I'm patient, especially when I know I'm really good and y'all playing with me. I don't know if I had a pick to keep playing and grinding like that, and I know I should be at a higher level. But I don't regret the life lessons I learned playing football and the people I met and winning the Grey Cup, playing in Canada.
100%.
I don't regret none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was life changing for me. Like, it was. Who knows what happened in baseball? Who knows? You know, nobody knows. But
so,
you know,
most of the schools that you named were all up in North. You know, with the Buffalo and everybody that when you were considered college. Was that just so you could stay closer to home, or what was your mindset on picking a college to go to, and picking UMass? Like, do you remember what you were going through at that point?
Well, when I committed to Maryland, I didn't care about the distance. I wanted to go to the best school that was fit for me. So Maryland's not that far though, but I also wanted to stay close enough to where my mom could and my family could see me play. Mind you, they never missed a game of my career since I was 5. My mom missed a game. Only time she missed a game, first game she missed was when the sniper was going around, the DC sniper.
Yep.
We played James Madison in Virginia that week. That's the only game she missed. I told her, Mom, nah, he shoot people in his trunk. He did all type of wild shit. Nah, we don't forget. You know what I'm saying?
The DC sniper better not be black. That's how we used to say. That's how we say in Texas. The sniper better not be black.
And look, wasn't he black? He looked black.
Black dude and his son shooting people out the trunk of their car.
Huh?
They were shooting people out the trunk of their car to the hole.
Bro, man, come on, man. Nah, don't come. That's the first game she missed, bro. I was a junior or something, and then before I got to Canada, but that was a big factor in my decision too. But UMass, the guy who recruited me, Coach Keith Dzinski, is from Bridgeport, and his brother. See, I went to Bunnell and Stratford, and I love Stratford. I consider Stratford my hometown because Stratford embraced me, took me in, and they just were there. Like the people who helped me in Stratford are just like people that I'm indebted to because the things they did for me and believing in me, even though my early childhood was in Bridgeport, Stratford is what made me who I am.
Yeah.
As far as being level-headed and you see good, bad, but it's not like you seeing terrible, but you seeing stuff enough to know, you know, but also the people that helped me get to where I am, man, there's no price tag on that. And
yep.
You know, I let you know. So, but he was from Bridgeport, but his brother coached at Stratford High, our rival. So he already knew my life story. So when he came to recruit me, you know, you want that home feeling. Like he made me and my mom feel like, listen, he's from where I'm from. I'm gonna take care of him.
Yeah.
And that's what really got me. You know,
that's the crazy part about college football now. Like, you know, when I talk to parents, you know, training kids for the last 14 years and talking to parents about fit, where do I fit? Not going to a school because you like a school, not going to because you like the colors or because they're Nike or Adidas or whatever the case is, but being able to go to a school because you feel something like it fits. You fit their scheme, that coach is like, because they're really almost like an extension of your parents.
Exactly.
They're the caretakers of you while you're on that campus. Right. They're not going to tell you what to do all the time or get up, do this. Like you got to do it yourself. But that's that transition point from your parents to being a grown man or grown woman. Is that college coach that comes and sits in your living room and tells you that they're going to take care of you and that, you know, we're going to pay for your school or we're going to take care of you or this is what we want, you know. There's that transition point, and these coaches now, they just leave so quick.
It's more of it was always a business. Yeah. But you really see the business side now. You know, it's bad. Like it's and that's why you get more. We should pay these college kids because that wasn't the talk of that much when we were playing. But now you can see it's like these coaches they got no loyalty. They just and I seen it even like when I went to UMass because Coach Whip was a great coach, offensive guy. And he left after my sophomore year. And then, Whip didn't talk too much because he was an offensive guy. And then Coach Brown came in, Don Brown. That's my guy right there, man. Former defensive coordinator for Michigan.
Okay.
Coach Brown was on some. That's when my career really took off because I looked at him like a father figure. Like, Nick, he'll be like, what you doing? You got class? Nah. Come down to the office, man. Let me talk to you, man. Just randomly, man. And it'd be like, and then you start talking about life. It's like me and you talking right now.
Yeah.
But a couple times a week. And it's like a father. Now you're talking about a father figure.
You pour into people.
Right. And a guy who believes in you. He told me one time, man, he said, you're going to be the best defensive player in this league. And I'm looking at him like, bruh, who else you tell this line to, man? It's like when you talk to a female, you done said the
Same line 3 times in one night.
He used that line 10 times a night. And he really believed it, though, because you could tell by the way he was calling his defense was to put me in position to make big plays.
Yeah.
So then I'm not going to let him down. So, like you were saying, it's picking the college that had a lot to do with it with the home feeling for Coach Tuzinski too.
Yeah, coaching plays a big role. I didn't realize it all the time, like, because in college, I always had GAs. So Division II school, we had I had a different GA as my receiver coach every year. So it's another guy that was in their low 20s. Mm-hmm. They really just fresh out. They're just a graduate assistant. Mm-hmm. They're, what are they really teaching us, right? Mm-hmm. They're just, they learned a couple things. They're going to come out there, do some drills, do this, do that. And for me, I always felt like it was my compete level. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to Calgary, it was the same thing. It was like, well, I didn't have like college receiver coaches. Right. Then I get to Calgary and, Craig Dickinson, Dave's brother, was my first receiver coach. Right. So same thing, we get to do the drills, we get to do things. I kind of go through the motions at times. I do some things at times, but it was just that evolution of having Cope and Rambo and them come in that really taught me how to work at practice. Mm-hmm. Right. When you see other people work at practice, it's like, okay, this is what it is to be a pro. You got to go out here and work. Right. You know what I'm saying? I had some success early, but it's just off talent. But then when you get people that you get people to come out here and show you to work every day. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's the same thing. So for you to have that coach to come in, one that showed belief in you, that gave you even more belief in yourself, to go out there and put it out there, and he put you in position because, as coaches, you can put people in position, don't mean they're gonna make plays. Right, yeah. That's a fact. You know that. Yeah. Just because the play gonna get made. But I had that mindset, I'm not gonna let him down. Let him down. Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year followed that, man. Right. You went out there and did it. Same year. We played, and you can ask any of my teammates, ask Karan Neal. We in the locker room before we played BC. And Coach Brown, we about to walk out there, Coach Brown said, I had a dream last night that Shannon, you had 3 picks in the game. You had 3 picks in this game today. Now, why he said that, I don't know. I don't know if he really had that dream or not. But let me tell you something. I had 3, just one got called back. And after the game, my teammates was like, bro, is this motherfucker, is he a psychic? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't know. You ask Karan to tell you, hey, what's real? Like, what the hell? Ron really had 3, and one got called back. Karan Williams was there? Yeah, Ron, we graduated together. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he went to UMass. I knew y'all was close in Calgary, but I didn't know where it came from. Yeah, I'm a year older than him. I redshirted when he came in. Graduated same year. Me and Ron played all 4 years together. Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, man. That's just super dope. Now, when you were coming out of college, you've had all the success. You the radio, the TV, the newspaper, the everything, all American, all this, all that. When did you start believing that you could play pro ball? And then were you disappointed, or did it sidetrack you that you didn't get drafted?
So that's you agree. It's a very good question, Nick. Because I really don't talk about it much. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you today. I'm gonna tell you things.
When they say in New York, keep it a buck.
Only my wife and mom. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. I'm gonna tell you some things only my wife know, and my mom probably.
Right? And that a Lulu Logic podcast.
I started believing I could go to the league into my junior. When I won the Atlanta Defensive Player of the Year, my phone started going crazy with agents. I'm talking about agent after agent after agent. And then Coach Brown sent me a couple media outlets. I got a second round grade. I have a second round draft grade. I still got articles. You can pull them up. It's still on the internet. And Coach Brown put me in the office. He said, do you want to leave? Now, mind you, you don't ever see 1AA kids leaving early. That's just not, that's just unheard of. That's just unheard of. And I said, nah, Coach. I said, because I think next year we can win a national championship. I said, I don't want to leave my dog. You got to remember, I came in with these kids at 17 years old. We about to do our last year together. I didn't feel right. It wasn't about the money for me. It was about, I'm more loyal than about money. I felt like I owed it to them to stick around. They're going to be down. You're losing the best player on defense. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, nah, it didn't cross my mind. I'm staying, Coach. So the calls is calling the calls. I went to Cali that summer. I worked out. I got so much better. I came back and I'm balling. I'm still balling, you know.
Do you feel more pressure?
Draft day, you know, pro. Huh?
Did you feel more pressure your senior year? Like, was there anything on your mind like, look, I could have left last year. I'm coming back for these guys. But now, am I feeling more pressure with I don't want to get hurt? I still need to improve my numbers. Was that playing through your mind too, or did you not even try to think about it?
Never crossed my mind. Getting hurt never crossed my mind. I always thought I never missed a game in the pro, never missed a game in college. I always thought I was like Steel. That's how I got my nickname Steel. I never got hurt. So that never crossed my mind. The production, I knew I was going to produce because I knew Coach Brown was going to put me in position. I had like 3 picks in the first 2 games. So that was out the window. I was already on my way. And then I got hurt in the main game. I got a concussion, separated shoulder. But I played the next game. But I just wasn't the same. Like my strength wasn't the same. I only had like maybe 1 more pick the rest of the season. I just wasn't the same. But I still played well. And then pro day come around, I did well, So draft day come. Mel Kiper he called my local paper. He said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go 2nd and 3rd round. He's this year's Nick Collins from Bethune-Cookman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you know me, Nick. Ooh. We about to get to this bag, baby. I'm going. I just know. Everybody know he's the best safety in 1AA. They already have he's the best safety. Thinking in my head, first defensive player coming off the board in 1AA is me. Or second, man, I start seeing people from the conference get drafted. You know what I'm saying? They calling me. My boy Willie Colon. When the first said, man, you gotta be on soon. Man, Baltimore called me in the 6th round, bro. For me, the 6th round would have been like the first overall pick to me. It didn't matter to me. I didn't want to see my name get called.
Yeah.
They said, we probably take with the next pick. Go across the screen. They take Derek Martin, corner from Wyoming. I didn't even know Wyoming was a state, right? The same way
you remember the names. You remember the names.
Do I? He was my man when I ended up going to Baltimore, because Baltimore had the most interest in him. You could tell how they type of player. They was always around. They got another pick in the 6th. He gave me the next pick. My grandmother's house. I didn't want nobody to even like be around me. I'm in there with my grandma.
Yeah.
Sam Cook, punter from Nebraska. Man, I left the house, man. I'm crying now. At the time, you took a punter over me. Mind you, he's still there to this day. So that was a great pick right there. But
great pick. Hindsight 2020.
Yeah. I'm crying. I'm walking down the street. My grandma live in the hood. I'm walking down the street. I don't care. I'm walking down the street. I'm mad, crying. They call me again. So this time it's the scout who scouted me. He called me first. Yeah, I know you frustrated. I said, man, look, man. I don't even care if y'all take me with the Mr. Irrelevant pick. I don't give a shit. 7th round, he says, it's going to be you or Ryan LaCash from Syracuse. I found out the agent was like, shit, this dude, DN.
Oh, okay.
He ran like a 10-700. I said, shit, I ain't got this over. A DN ran 700 yards, 100 meters?
Sound like Rashard Genty.
They took him. Huh?
That sound like Rashard Genty. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So they called me. Listen, we want to sign you right now. I'm on some now. I don't want to go with y'all. Y'all been lying to me for the last 2 hours. I'm straight. So now the Redskins called and Vikings, Packers, everything. So the Redskins had me really because I was always a Sean Taylor fan.
Yeah.
But I was also an Ed Reed fan. So, like, well, listen, Baltimore's been showing the most interesting. Why don't you go there? I ended up signing with him. And when I got there, Nick, I didn't have the right mindset. Like, my mindset was, they don't really want me. Wanted me, you would have drafted
me.
Let me tell you something. Had I got drafted, right, and my confidence was there, like, they really want me, I promise you, Nick, I promise you, the same way I was defensive MVP in Calgary 2 years, I would have been, I don't know, Pro Bowl, or I'm going to be on an all-rookie team or something. Because I tell you what, I'm going off topic a little bit, what got me to play so well in Calgary was Barker. Jim Barker was like, he told me when I came there, you're going to be the man. I know things didn't work out in Baltimore. I actually met him in Baltimore. He was down at the training camp. You're going to be the man. And then Coach Crean, you know Coach Crean, I'm like his son. And he's like,
Danny Crean.
He's going to son. So that's your dad. But when I got to Baltimore, Nick, I wasn't even into it. Like, and my wife would tell you this. I call my wife every day from rookie mini camp, OTAs, every day at training camp. I cried to her on the phone every day in the morning. That I didn't want to be.
It's just crazy how the mindset.
Single day.
It's crazy how the mindset.
And then my dad had, right. And I think it was more so, I had been the man so long, and I just knew I was getting drafted. Like a lot of people like, I just want an opportunity at the league. I just want an opportunity. No, I knew I was supposed to get drafted. And then my father had got sick during training camp 06. Like they gave him like 5 days to live. So then I'm dealing with that. I don't give a shit now. I really don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit. Nobody knew. Like nobody knows to this day, except for my wife and my family who knew what. But I never use that as an excuse as to why I got cut, because that's no excuse. I should have been mentally strong enough to deal with it and move on for it. But I was already in a bad state of mind anyway after not being drafted. That really affected me, right? Had I got drafted and my father got sick, I would have been better off because I knew they wanted me.
Yeah.
But
I always talk about expectation and reality. Mm-hmm. Right? I've seen guys come into Calgary and Montreal in the training camp with high expectations, and somebody come in with low expectations, and the guy that came in with low expectations ends up getting the job because he exceeded expectations, with a guy that came in with high expectations, he just didn't exceed his expectations. Didn't say he didn't play well. It's just this guy is doing more than we thought he could, and this guy is basically who we thought he could. And this guy still might be better.
Right.
But, you know, those are the things. And when we look at our lives and we think about expectation, and I come from the lowest, nobody knew who I was coming out of college, coming out of D2 and being the last person signed in Calgary. So everything was just that stepping stone, right?
Right.
So for you, it's like, I put in the work. I've done this. I've had the results. Mm-hmm. I see people that I'm better than, and I've proved that I'm better than. I'm not just thinking I'm better than you. I'm proved it for 4 years that I'm better than you. Right? They're going. I'm not going. So now your mindset, the expectations that you built had put you in a situation. And I guess similar, I did a private workout for Green Bay when I came out. Didn't go as well as I wanted it to, wet grass, other stuff. But you know what? I probably wasn't as prepared as I should have been. And, you know, I was projected a 5th-round pick to Green Bay through their chat boards and stuff like that. When it didn't happen, it was the same thing, expectation. I'd expected to be going to the NFL. When I went to Canada, I didn't change my thought. But then in 2006, when I had 12 teams that wanted me in the NFL, I stayed in Canada because I didn't want to go back to that same situation. You know, so that whole expectations that you were expecting of, I should be getting drafted. Now I'm not drafted, but I'm in the same spot of the team that told me they were going to draft me.
Right.
4 rounds after I thought I was supposed to be drafted.
Right. It was heartbreaking because, like you said, even when after my 2007 season in Calgary, I went and worked out with Tampa Bay. I killed the workout, Nick. They tried to sign me on the spot. And I asked him, I told my agent, I said, Sonny, I just want $50,000 up front. Just to give me some type of security blanket. So if y'all was to cut me, at least I would have made it for some of the money I would have made in Calgary had I stayed. They told me, we're not giving that to you. This is your opportunity to get back in the league. I said, y'all bugging. Nah, I'm straight. I know what y'all about to do. I'm good.
Brandon Browner did the same thing. No signing bonus. No signing bonus.
Browner, right?
Yeah, no signing bonus. Right? But that was his shot. Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's the crazy part, man. People can see the surface, they can see the sports, they can see people's careers. They don't know the in-depth behind the careers. Right. Like what built you. Right. Like what really made you turn that corner. You know, we talk about coming to Canada. What was your mindset when you came to Canada? Because like you said, you didn't know about the CFL. You just went to Baltimore. Now you're coming to the CFL. So what's your mindset going in there?
Well, first of all, when I got off the plane, it was September. Y'all had 8 inches of snow. So that's I ain't getting I said, hell no. I said, nah, this ain't for me. But the reason why I went was because Karan called me. And he said, hey, bro, I just found out that Calgary wants you too. He said, are you going to go? I'm still distraught from being cut in the league. And I said, bro, I'll go if you go. And he said, I'm going. I got no other chance. I'm going. I said, let's do it. And you could ask him. That's what got me to go. Had Karan's a baller. No, bro, I don't know if I would have went.
Yeah.
And my mindset was, I didn't even know I'm thinking I'm going to CFL to play against a bunch of Canadians. I didn't know. I didn't know they had a Nick Lewis, a Jermaine Copeland from Tennessee, a Rambo from Ohio. I didn't know. So
You probably get up there like you looking at the God. That's what happened to this dude, Michael Bishop. You got all these dudes up there. That's how I was.
Ricky Williams was up there at the time. Peter Warwick.
Andre Rison.
Yeah, so I'm walking in the locker room like, I'm finna go off on these dudes. Then I see all the Americans. I'm like, what the fuck? So that's how I meet people, and then I go to people's bios on the computer. I'm like, oh, I said, this for real. This is for real. And then we got to start to do it. We stretching and y'all talking like everybody talking. They from the inner city and they from Texas and Cali. I'm like, oh shit, this is the NFL 2.0. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I could do this. Like, you know, I could do this. There's people that's just like me. I could do this. And then I went for the first practice. I remember the first practice, and I was on the scout team, right? You know, my first day, and I picked off 2 of Hank's passes to Cope, but I didn't know you're supposed to let y'all catch it, just be in position. So Cope said, I remember Cope said to me, Mike, I don't know Cope. I don't know this Jermaine Cope, man in tennis. I don't know this. He said, Cope said, stop trying to be a fucking star. Right? So, I just came from Baltimore. That's how they practice. They go all the time. That's how they practice. You want just to pick it. I said, who the fuck are you talking to? Right? And I think Brett Ralph jumped in between us, right? So Brett was like, yo, just be in position. Don't be picking the ball off. You know, he said, you know the route. I said, I don't know the route. I'm not even looking. I don't even know the fucking route. And the next practice, right? I did it the way it was supposed to be. Because remember, y'all in game mode. Y'all in the season.
Yeah.
It's not camp and we make it. Y'all in the season already. And I remember Coach came up to me. He said, you're going to be a good player, man. He said, you're going to be a good player. Because I could tell. And then I did one-on-ones. And they had me going against Ralphie. Now, mind you, Ralphie was a shifty little Canadian. He was pretty
curlralph.com.
Listen, but I don't know none of this, Nick. I'm still mad I got cut. I'm mad about everything. My dad's sick. I'm just mad. When I tell you, like, I had the best one-on-one session I had in my life. And that's nothing against Ralphie. Ralphie was a hell of a receiver. I didn't know he was that. I had the best one-on-one session in my life. And I knew then, like, I belonged. Right? Because at that point, my confidence wasn't really like that. I just got cut. You just got cut for your long drink. You feel like you trash, right? I mean, that's how I was feeling. Like you trash. So that you know, going up there, that was my mindset. I mean, I thought I was just gonna go up there and just hold on, Nick. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Yeah, man. You know, it's a lot more laid back than NFL.
Yeah.
You know what you're used to experiencing. You know, when we did our we competed hard.
Right.
But with everything else, man, you want to give a good look and do things. And, you know, that was part of the reason, man, you know, Hank throw picks. That's what he do. So
but Hank not thinking this little young rookie just going to be jumping in the middle, jumping routes. And he thinking I know what I'm doing as far as like doing it the right way. And I don't.
Yeah.
But tell you what, man, Nick, my time in Calgary, bro, was, excuse me 1 second. Sorry. My time in Calgary was some of the best years of my life. Besides you, man, it's the best years of my life.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Once I started playing, because I played 2 games in 06, and I felt like I was a part of the team. And, you know, we going out, I'm meeting y'all, and y'all let me introduce me to people. And then I'm going against you every practice. Now I'm the same. I'm going against Nick Lewis every practice. So now I gotta be on my A game because
And I'm talking.
if not, you're gonna get embarrassed. Because Nick don't care.
I'm
Nick trying to
talking.
get off. That's what he's gonna do. Right.
I shocked the shit out of everybody in Montreal when I went out there and I started talking at practice.
Yeah.
We like to have a good time. We don't take it personal.
Bro, Nick, the year we won in 08, that was the closest Nick team I had ever been on.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Nick, I never won a national title or a state title. But the year we won the Grey Cup, I remember talking to Sankey, Ben Sankey about it.
Yep.
We was probably, I think we was on that long win streak. We won like 9 in a row. And Sankey told me we was at Jack. Sankey said, we're going to win it all. I said, why you say that? He said, because this team is so close-knit. We was going everywhere together. It didn't matter.
We'd be at Jack's like 20, 30 deep.
Nick, offense, special team, it didn't matter. Practice squad, non-practice, it didn't matter, Nick. We was always together. And the fun we had, bro, it was just, man, it was just that team, man, that team. I mean, Keon was like practice squad and playing. He was off and on. Me and Keon was best of buddies.
Yep. Because the Sams were you, Keon, and Brandon Isaac.
Yes.
And Keon and Brandon Isaac was on and off together. Like one of them would be up, the other one would be down.
Yep. And me and Keon was the best of friends. It wasn't on some, he's a practice squad guy. He off and on. I can't rock with him. I'm gonna go hang with Nick Lewis because Nick is a star. It was just everybody got along with everybody. Everybody was cool. And the thing I think why Hank had such a good year, the defense really, I don't know about before I got there, but I know that 08 season, the defense believed in Hank. Like, even though we had heard in the past, you know, he might not show up in the playoffs or he throw picks in the playoffs. We was on some, if he do, we better be there to get the ball back.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Dude, that defense, man, you look at that defense all the way across the board. I mean, Benjo, Charleston, like I remember one of the biggest things from 08 in the offseason, I called Ted. I said, we need Juwan Armour. And he goes, well, he's got a bad attitude. And I said, well, Ted, I'm going to tell you the truth. Something about me you might not know. But if I was 2-16, I would have a bad attitude as well. I said, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to have a bad attitude if I go 2-16.
That's right.
So, and he called Juwan and verbally said that he was going to Montreal. He was close to signing Montreal. An hour from signing Montreal, Ted calls him. We get him to Calgary. And I told Juwan, I said, you come to Calgary? I was walking through Walmart in Texas. I said, if you come to Calgary, I promise you we'll win a Grey Cup. Because I knew that our defense was young. We had a lot of dudes that could ball, but we just needed a leader.
Yep.
Right? We just needed somebody that when he bring that sledgehammer and he start talking, yes, we just needed somebody that can go out there and just be that leader in the middle. Right? And that's what he was. That's what he was. He was that dog in the defense because you could follow him. I mean, we had guys like Simp that was on that team that was on the PR2 or
you
on and off the roster.
Best linebacker in Calgary history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Malik Jackson.
What's the buddy that played for the Vikings? Tom Johnson. Tom was on the practice squad. He started in the league
for 7 years.
7 years. he on the practice squad with us. That's how. Look, Carp wasn't getting that much burn because remember Salim Rashid came in.
Yeah. So
Carp started interchanging with me and stuff like that. Carp played 4 years in the league and started.
Yeah.
That's how
I remember when Carp and DA got in that fight on the sideline in Montreal and we had to call timeout.
Yeah. Oh, man, DA is crazy, Nick, because I'm up there in Hartford, right? So Bloomfield, where DA is right on the corner. And, man, people that I meet, man, they be like, you know, Dwight Anderson, my dog, man. They be like, man, that boy crazy. Everybody said. So DA didn't just pick this up when he came to Calgary. No, I'm hearing things when DA was in high school. That boy crazy, man. So, but yeah, man, that was
real live.
That was the greatest accomplishment. Besides my kids being born and my wedding, the Great Cup was the greatest, most fulfilling feeling and accomplishment of my life.
I've always said that, people here that listen to this, they've probably heard me say this a couple of times, but I always say when you win a championship, it's like it validates everything. Like all the shit you went through, all the trouble you went through, all the failures, everything. It was like I needed to go through that to be who I was today to accomplish this. Right. And there's so many people from different backgrounds. Right. You talk about Brett Ralph and Ryan Thelwell and you and all the people we talked about on the defense, and Cope and Rambo and Joff and Hank and Cornish and Cote, like all these people from all these different backgrounds that come together for a common cause and get it done. And it can never be replaced.
No. I forgot about Cornish. Cornish, what is he in Calgary? Like, is he all-time leader rusher? He up there, right?
he's like number 3, I believe.
That man plays strictly special teams.
That boy, he led the league in rushing in 9 games one year.
You see what I'm saying?
He had like 1,509 games. So, I mean, he put on some seasons that was like, you're not seeing people do that on the, what I'm saying? And he's strictly special teams in 2007, 2008. He didn't start getting a burn until like 10. So, we look at these things, man, and just the talent that we had. But like you said, it wasn't like, it didn't matter who you were. We were all out. We was all together. It was like, there was that bond because there wasn't a lot of issues with everything. Besides Teo and Julian Battle.
Yeah. I was there for that one. My boy JB, oh man, I was there for that one. Oh,
hey,
man, that was
but the crazy part is they're throwing bottles at each other in the street. Middle of the street, 2:00 in the morning. Well, guess what? Nobody ever knows about that until now, right? So it's really cool how we kept everything together in house too. Right, that a lot of people would be like, "Oh, well, this team got this, and this." No, the good teams keep it in house.
Keep it in house.
Wasn't the issue.
We were so tight knit, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
That would have never got out. We did that allowed to get out.
Yeah, 2009. And then 2010.
Yep.
What led to the departure? Like you go defensive player of the year, team. Because so the people that don't know CFL. Each team picks their MVP, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, special teams player of the year, rookie of the year, lineman of the year, and then everybody votes out of those people. The league votes out of those people, or the teams don't pick it. The media picks it, and then the media votes who's going to be the nominee of the West, who's the East. But you were the team pick 2 years in a row, 7 and 8, your first 2 full seasons. And then 2009 comes along, and then the departure in 2009 to 2010. What happened?
Me personally, I think my work ethic, and I started feeling myself. I don't think I still wanted to play football, but after we won the Grey Cup, I ain't gonna hold you, Nick. After we won the Grey Cup, I drank every day until we got back to camp. I'm not exaggerating. Oh no, it's probably like 6. I drank every day until we got back to camp. I was like 12% body fat when we got back.
You were still on the Grey Cup parade.
Was I, Nick? My wife kept saying at the time, she's my girl, but she kept saying, "Babe, that was 3 months ago. What we doing?" Like, but everywhere I went, people were so happy. Remember, that was nationally televised game in the U.S.
Yeah.
Where I went, people were so proud of me, man. They didn't care if it was a CFL. They didn't care. To see me win a Grey Cup, Brad, when I tell you everywhere I went, it was free drinks. Let's take a shot. Let's do it. Including family. And then I came back 2009. I was out of shape. I don't know, man. I think me and Coach Jones butt had a couple of times. And before that time, like 2008, me and Jones got along. Me and Coach Jones got along because I was making a lot of plays for one. But we never really had no issues as far as I think like he was seeing the downward trend. Him and Corey, they were seeing the downward trend in me in 2009. But you know, I'm 20, I'm 25. You couldn't tell me nothing. Ain't no downward trend, you know. I'm still me, but I wasn't. And the funny thing is, man, I didn't have a bad season, but I just wasn't focused. And I started to see the writing on the wall in the playoff game when they started switching me and Milt in and out at Sam.
Yep.
But that offseason, let me tell you first, that offseason.
Milt Collins was on it. Man.
That man was an animal. Me and my wife was in the bed one morning. We joking. I said, man, Calgary mess around, call me and cut my ass. Nick, I lie to you not, bro. The next day, Coach Huff called me and was like, we're gonna need you to take a pay cut. If not, we're gonna have to release you. So here go the ego, right, Nick? Pay cut. Because they wanted to pay Browner, and he earned it.
Yep.
So if you see a guy going like this, you got to start taking out of his pockets. They felt like I was the guy going downhill. But, you know, it's the ego. Two-time defensive MVP. Not taking no pay cut. Y'all tripping. All right, we're going to have to release you. Fuck it. Release me. Right? Now I'm not getting no calls. You know what I'm saying? Hamilton finally calls me. We'll bring you in. You know, we got Marquise Norton over here. Mind you, at the time, I didn't know who Marquise Norton was.
Yeah. Y'all don't really watch defense and stuff.
Right. So I didn't know who he was. I knew TJ Hill because TJ played at Northeast. I knew TJ. I knew Corey Banks, and I knew Chip Cox. I didn't know nobody else. Right. I didn't know Marquise. So when I got to Hamilton, I found out who he was, but and you know Otis Floyd was there. I knew Jamal Johnson was because
Jamal Johnson.
We was up for Player of the Year, 1AA, so I knew he was. But I hit the same thing again, Nick, where like I was in Baltimore. I call my wife every day in camp and cry. Say, I don't want to be here. Bro, I didn't know how good we had it in Calgary till I went there. I'm thinking everybody in the CFL, bro, let me tell you something. And I'm not knocking nobody. What I'm saying is, it's levels of this shit.
Yeah.
And when you talk about franchises in the CFL, top-notch franchise, it's Calgary. And I'm fortunate enough, I've heard stories about other franchises, how they treat their players and what's going on over there. Bro, when I tell you, Calgary was A1 from the first day I walked in the door to the last day. And it was just, I realized how good I had it. If I had to go do it all over again, Nick, man, I would have been working out every day, grinding every day. Mind you, when I was in Calgary in 2009, you know how many times I lifted?
3?
2.
2 times.
The whole season.
That's hard.
You know how much film I watched?
None. Not extra.
I remember because Cart, my roommate.
Yeah.
He said, bro, why you don't ever watch film when we come home? Right, once again, the ego, right? I'm the man. I said, man, I know what I'm doing, man. I never watched one DVD at home in the 2009 season.
And I think that's the biggest thing is to realize and rationalize that you can see it and you know it right? And to take ownership over it. Because like for me, I always knew there were people coming for my job. I always helped people try to take my job because I knew when it came to competition, I could always rise to the top. Right. And that's how I stayed competitive, and that's why I stayed in the mindset. But it's just crazy to hear that, for you to take that, to feel that, and to, I'm pretty sure when you won that Grey Cup, when we won that Grey Cup, there was like a huge relief off of you from everything that you went through. And then the complacency set in.
Yep.
I've made it. I've done it.
Yep.
And I've been successful early. And now there's nothing stopping me from doing this for another 10 years.
Yeah, exactly right. Mind you, Nick, we won a Grey Cup. I think I was like 23.
Yeah.
I'm a baby, but in my mind, it's like, I'm already at the top.
Yeah.
I'm Defensive Player of the Year twice. I got the Grey Cup. By the time I'm 23 years old, 24, man, shit, I'm good. They ain't gonna have me around the next 10 years. I done did all I needed to do. Mind you, Keon behind me, hungry than a mother. He ain't played that much. Trying to get on. He hungry.
And work. Keon work.
He was working.
Keon's gonna work.
Yep.
Big play Ray.
Big play Ray.
Work.
Keon was good from the day he came in.
Yes, he was.
You know what I'm saying? To even be on that squad in 08, you better be making plays. Or you're not going to be here. You know?
You remember Jacoby Reinhardt?
Yes.
Remember Jacoby Reinhardt won Defensive Player of the Year. He was like the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. Balled out. Then Brandon Browner came, and we released Jacoby, and then he went to Montreal, and he got released during the season and never played again. It's stories like that I see guys be great and then be gone. It's like, dude, way too much talent.
But remember when BB came in, BB was like a pit bull off the leash. That boy was hungry.
Yes. That
boy was knocking people's heads off in practice, in the games, in the preseason games. I knew, and I played, remember, I was in 06 with Kobe, so I played with 2 games. I saw him. He was very talented. But I knew they was gonna cut him after what I seen BB doing. He was just his hunger, bro. Remember that was the year when BB came in. He was in an altercation every day with somebody.
Yeah, Ted Hiller told me, he goes, "Hey, we got something." He goes, "Wait till you see him." And this dude comes out 6'3", his knees touching as he walking. He if he 210, he 200 upper body. It's like this dude out here. I'm like, man.
Oh, man.
And then, when Jones went to that matchup defense y'all used to run, we used to play 5-on-5 on defense and just play a lot of man-to-man. BB, he put BB on me at practice. So all our competes was me and BB, and his long arms kept slapping me in the face, grabbing my face mask, doing all this. I'm like, damn, BB, come on, man. I ain't trying to fight you out here. So it's always the back and forth battles, man. And we had a lot of fun with it.
Me and you had all the time.
Oh yeah.
It made me a better player because I knew if I could cover Nick Lewis, I could cover anybody that played the 3. I could cover anybody in the league.
Yeah.
That was my thing. If you could cover, and Nick, you wasn't the fastest, but the craftiness and the strength you had, there was no receiver that I was gonna go against that was gonna be even close to you in that way. In the hands you had. I remember when I got the Hamilton, and their number 3 was Dave Stout.
Yep.
Dave was a good receiver to them. But bro, when I tell you,
Sticky Stoller, man,
he was a good receiver to them. When I tell you, Nick, that man never caught a pass on me. I had the best camp of my life in Hamilton and got cut. I don't think they want the controversy. They brought me back. I don't think they want the controversy with me and Marquis.
Yeah.
And he ended up with Defensive Player of the Year that year. He had a hell of a year.
Yep.
He had a hell of a year. But going against Dave Stalin, when I left it, I got to go against Dave Stalin every day and not Nick Lewis. man, that was a relief. No knock on him. What I'm saying is, like I said before, there's levels to this shit.
There's levels.
It was Nick losing. It didn't compare. It just didn't compare.
And I always felt like I was that hybrid over there, right? Because you had Claremont there, Fantus there, you had Stoller there, you had some of these bigger guys that, and I felt like I could do kind of both. I could power people, I could finesse people. I thought I was a better route runner than a lot of those guys. So
it wasn't close. It wasn't close.
So that was kind of my thing, because remember back before when you first got there, that position was a true linebacker playing those bigger guys.
It was what's his name? The brothers, Abdullah. It was Khalid.
Yep. Khalid Abdullah. Yeah. And I remember like Michael Fletcher in Toronto and guys like that.
Listen with me. I felt like Crehan, when he saw my ability, he just like he was the one who was like his kid could play the run and the pass. Because remember, Crehan had me in the box when it was 2 boxes.
Yeah.
It wasn't no you back play. You was in the box. You got a gap. I'm on, so what the hell is this? A gap. Oh man, I remember one time Murphy from BC, he cold caught me from the
Murphy.
I said, oh man, this I ain't signed up for this, man. But yeah, you're right. It used to be like a real sand.
Yeah.
Real sand.
Then it became that hybrid position that has to do both.
And
that's so important. It's such an important position now because of the talent on the field. And man, just looking back at everything, like your whole journey, where you grew up from, talking about that earlier, to high school, to college, making your decisions you made, living what you live. When you look back at it, man, what do you think about it?
Man, I feel like I question sometimes is, and I really don't question it because it was such a glorious moment, was in 2007 not going to Tampa Bay with no money and staying with Calgary because we ended up winning the Grey Cup that year.
Yeah.
Had we not won the Grey Cup, I would have been on some, damn, I made the wrong move. But in my life, man, let me tell you something, man. If God decided to take me tonight, Nick, I'd be telling my wife there, don't cry at my funeral. I lived a full, successful, I couldn't ask for no more. 100%. What more can you ask for? I can't ask for no more.
Got your wife, got the kids.
Bro, I had a great career since I was young. High school, college, Calgary. It was, man, look, man, my lounge, a restaurant going, my kids is successful. If he take me tonight, Nick, y'all have a celebration. That boy lived a full life. He had fun. He's always smiling. It's not about how long you live, it's what you do with your time here.
That's it.
I feel like I've accomplished a whole lot on and off the field, and the lives I've touched from both. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I think I speak for me, you, and other people that have walked our path. I'm okay with the life I lived and how it turned out. I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Those decisions led you to who you are.
Right.
And allows you to be successful today.
Right.
Right. And I think that's the important part, man. And there's such a message in just your story, sharing things that you've never shared with anybody else on here. People are going to hear that and it's going to change somewhat. Right. And the decisions they're making, and just to see that you can't take it for granted. Can't take it for granted.
Mm-mm.
Right. One of the things I've always prayed to God about, or thank God for, was the willing to work. Right. I will work. And that's where, when I went to Montreal and I got to play with SJ Green and those guys out there, and Fred Stamps, worked. Like, even all of us are older. We were the 3 hardest working guys out there on offense. Right. So we had some running backs that worked too. It was a hell of a backfield, but we showed up and we worked. And I think that's what really ultimately, because I'd have been on the same path as you. If it wasn't for Cope and Rambo, And Marte Jenkins and those guys and Thelwell, like bringing me along when I was younger, when I was 22 and I got into the league, being like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. You know, I think I'd have went through the same situation because for me, when you have success and you don't have to work as hard for it, it's different.
Right.
Right. It's different. Right. I'm naturally talented. I might not be the most talented person, but I can still get it done. Right. And then, but when you put that work to it, it just does something different, man. But I appreciate you coming on here, sharing your story, talking about everything. I always remember you as being the quiet guy.
Yeah. I was like that in college though, too. I'm still to this day. People be like, when they come in my restaurant, they say, oh, you the boss. We never see you. Or you don't talk. I'm like, I don't got too much to say. Unless I know
that's the crazy ones.
Talk. I don't, unless I know you because of my upbringing, right? And living with my aunt and mom and dad being divorced. And really my mom and dad was like, my aunt really raised me. You know, I really didn't trust people. Like, I ain't trust people. So I'm not going to be talking to you and and I don't know you. That's not how I do. Even like on the field, like when I was playing, I didn't talk a lot of trash, but I was thankful for where I was at. I didn't feel like me talking, unless you talking to me. Now that's a different story. I didn't feel like it was necessary to me because I was just thankful, happy for where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still like that to this day. Like I just, and you don't push me to the edge, I won't push you. But if I don't know you, I know Nick Lewis. I done spent a lot of time with Nick Lewis. You know what I'm saying?
We changed cars. I let you drive my Charger and you let me drive your Lexus.
Yeah. And now it's my baby, you know what I mean? So I know that I can talk to him. But if ESPN called me today and be like, they want to do an interview with, Stephen A. Smith, I'm looking at him. I got too much to say to that man. I don't know him like that.
Yeah, we're about to get it popping. We're gonna have you doing a lot more.
Man, I appreciate you, man. You need anything, you let me know, brothers. It was a pleasure being on the show today.
I appreciate you, man. It's always fun, man. We're doing this. It's the first one of season 2. I could not start it no better with not a better guest on the Lulu Logic podcast. And just let y'all know, man, it's been, my mother passed away last month or beginning of January. And, so we've been going through that, but now we're back. It's March. We're back. Season 2 of the Lulu Logic podcast. Stay tuned because we got a lot more coming soon.